Last September, I walked into booth not knowing what to expect. I was nervous, but I was also excited to start a new chapter. Fast forward to today, first year done, and the summer internship is about to begin. In this video, I'm sharing 6 things I learned throughout the year. Too good, too bad, and too ugly. Let's kick things off with the 2 parts of the MBA that I absolutely loved. I've mentioned this before, but one of my favorite aspects of booth are the trips. So far, I've gone to Croatia for the random walk, Whistler for the December ski trip, and Colombia for the spring break trip. And I've also made local trips to Miami and Seattle with friends. These trips are great because you get closer with people and obviously you get to explore a new part of the world. And honestly, in my opinion, nothing helps you to bond better than having a few drinks in a foreign country. Next year after the summer, I'm planning to go to Spain, Japan, another ski resort, and probably many more trips that will come out of group chats. My recommendation here would be not to miss a trip purely for financial reasons. One of the main selling points of an MBA is the networking aspect, and this is a great way to get close to people. Our orientation, we had a panelist that said it best. In 10-15 years, you won't remember that you took an extra $3,000 to $6,000 loan to go to a couple of trips, but you will definitely remember the trips that you made during your time here. So keep this in mind as you plan your semester. The second good thing is the people. You know the quote, show me your friends and I'll show you your future? Well, it's something like that. Where else are you gonna find a collection of highly disciplined, hardworking, and ambitious people? In my class, there are founders, ex-finance and tech bros, and even an ex-professional poker player. Not only that, but most of the class will go on to the best banks, consulting firms, technology firms in the world. And these are the people that will probably hold high positions in the future that might help you find a job, raise money, close a deal, or just be a great partner for a beer. It is very hard to get into these programs, so you can be sure that your classmates are very impressive because they made it. Sounds cliche, but the people are definitely one of the reasons why I'm here, and so far it's been really impressive. Now let's get into the bad. The first bad is dependent on your school. At least in booth, there are a lot of theoretical academic classes. Take micro, for example. The professor walks you through oligopolies, monopolies, and a stack of academic papers that prove all the economic models. Not a lot of exhilarating stuff, and honestly, it feels a lot like undergrad. If you're an intellectual, maybe you would enjoy it more than me, but I found myself getting lost in these types of classes. On the other hand, there are what I call practical or more applicable classes. A lot of these classes are taught by people with actual industry experience, and they bring a lot of what they learned to the classroom. For example, when valuing a company, they might teach you the theory behind how the CAPM works, but they also complement it with how people generally use it in practice in a finance role. So they might teach you the formula, and they'll tell you what inputs people generally use when actually valuing a company in practice. I generally look for these applicable classes and avoid the other more intellectual classes. It's just a personal preference of mine. Now moving on to the second bad, and unfortunately this is a necessary bad, and that is recruiting. Most of what I know is from investment banking recruiting, but a lot of the same things apply to other career paths. First, the uncertainty. Even if you're extremely prepared, there's always the doubt in the back of your mind that you're not good enough. Second, the intensity. For banking, you have to show up to campus on a full suit and tie every day and stay for events from 9 a.m. to sometimes 9 p.m. Third, the juggling act. Classes still assign the problem sets and the group projects. Social plans keep popping up. And grade non-disclosure definitely helps, but you still need to pass. And on the social side, if you suffer from FOMO, just remind yourself that the parties will still be there when interviews end. And the silver lining is that you bond a lot with the people who are grinding beside you. So when everything ends, you will have friends. And lastly, the timeline. This depends a lot on where you recruit for, but for banking and consulting, it starts immediately. You literally step on campus and within a couple of weeks, you're recruiting full-time, which is insane. Again, recruiting is a necessary bad, but it's still bad. So brace yourself for recruiting season and just know that once that's over, your MBA experience is gonna be amazing. Now let's move on to the ugly. This one is a famous one, but it's how expensive an MBA really is. I think if you take out this factor, an MBA would be worth it for everyone, but the reality is that it is very expensive. First, you have tuition, which is $160,000 over the 2 years if you don't get a scholarship, which is insane. Second, you have all the random fees they add on, like the admin fee, the technology fee, the health insurance, the transcript fee, the breathing fee. Third, you have all your living expenses, which include rent, food, transportation, Wi-Fi, and there's many other expenses that I'm probably forgetting about. So after it's all said and done, you probably spend north of $200,000 getting an MBA. And that's not even counting the opportunity cost of the salary you give up the 2 years that you're here. So it's definitely a lot of money. So obviously I'm biased and I think it is worth it, but I included it in the ugly because it is not pretty and it's definitely something to consider when you're applying to an MBA. If you're a fan of the channel, you already know the second ugly because I've talked about this one before, and that is group projects. They're absolutely the worst. You always have free riders that don't do anything because they don't even go to class and could care less. Some projects are actually a lot of work and you're also kind of signed out by the end of the semester, so you don't want to do it. I've actually decided that next year I will only take classes without final group projects. In my opinion, groups only help for homework because you get to split up the work and finish much faster. However, if there's a 30-slide final presentation at the end of the class, run away. These are the lessons from my first year at Booth: the good, the bad, the ugly. Overall, the ride has been incredible, and it is wild to realize I'm done with the first year already. If you're thinking about doing an MBA and want to talk, reach out and I can give you some insights from my experience. Comment below anything you've learned that I probably missed. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe and ring the bell. We post videos every Wednesday, so we'll see you next week. Peace.